Good morning, everybody. Good to be back. I'm going to be talking about the pricing analyst of today. I'm not worried about the future 10 years from now. My focus is people who work today, day in and day out. So what do we believe in? We believe in this concept called continuous pricing. Everybody has been putting it on PowerPoint, but we genuinely believe in this. And we believe in working with ATPCO, not because I am in the conference, but we love working with ATPCO. And we want to create a platform which is innovating for the future. So that doesn't mean we ignore the future. We are here to ensure that we are ready for the future. So I had the opportunity to present Jupiter last year. So I'm going to talk about what we have done in the last 1 year. So the biggest aspect of our decision-making process obviously is data. So we need lots of data to get the right insight and take a decision. So we take data which is global. We take data that is created by us. So we create some bit of data. There is a lot of data that the airline has in disparate systems, right from reservation systems to a lot of the IT systems that are there in the organization. And of course, people buy MIDT, infare. So we said, okay, let's take all of this and put it into this big database, for want of a better word. But the key aspect, we translate everything for a market. So a market for us is point of sale, origin, destination, and compartment. Okay? So that's the real challenging aspect of bringing in all kinds of data and transforming it for a market, including social data. So for example, somebody says something on Facebook or on Twitter or in Instagram, we get that data, but try and transform it for a market. So the biggest part, it took us about 2 years to just figure out what is the data that's required by a pricing analyst to take a valuable decision. The next thing, I know people do Google triggers, people look at news, people read different websites to get to know what others are doing. So we said, why don't we give this at your fingertips? So we created a dashboard whereby all relevant news, everything that happens around the world, real time, is brought into the solution, and it gets transformed as a sensible trigger for you to take a pricing action or something that you should be aware of to take a decision. So that's our news that's happening around the world for your markets, where you can set business rules to say which airlines, what word tickles you. So this is something we know. We keep reading the newspapers and we know what tickles you. So we try to bring in all that into one single dashboard. Then, of course, the key, I think yesterday there were a lot of people in the panel who said, there is huge amount of data, what do I do with it? And how do I bring it in context? So we have figured out about 160 triggers which tell you what to do with it. So we try and pinpoint, okay, this is a volume-based problem, this is a value-based problem, this is a ratings problem, something has changed. Somebody has launched a promotion or a sale. We actually look at complete download from ATPCO and pinpoint every change that you see in the sub, every sub on sub. So the idea was to actually bring insight into the table by looking at everything data that has been brought in. So that triggers literally form the backbone of our solution. And we are just adding and adding and adding. So all these algorithms have been written with the pricing analyst in mind. We interviewed them and we found that this is what actually triggers you to take a decision. Moving on, how are we building this to finally put it to action? So we have an analytics module, which is simply to make it easier for the users, simply says, show me markets. That's the concept of the analytics model. What is show me markets? Show me markets says, show me markets where elasticity is, the market is inelastic. Show me markets where I have a directional imbalance. Show me markets where I'm not the lowest fare. Show me markets where I am the lowest fare while my strategy says I should not be the lowest fare. So the theme has been built simply for the pricing analyst to ask a question in terms of show me markets, and the system then shows you the markets where you can take a decision. And it doesn't just stop with markets, it also goes to fairs. It tells you which competitor is actually on my back. Show me competitors who are beating me, or show me competitors who are leading me, show me competitors who are trailing me. So the whole concept of show me is to say, tell me about it right now. The next part of analytics is, in certain cases, it's very obvious. We say, fix it. So you can now say, fix that market for me, and the system will come up with recommendations, fares, and actually fully integrate with ATPCO, file the fares, rules, everything seamlessly. So the user doesn't need to do much other than saying, fix the market for me. Last one, but not the least, how do I? So we are building up a module which says, normally the vice president or a SVP of a market will come and say, I want to get $100,000 more the next 3 months departures. How do I? So this is the concept that we are building on to say, how do I do something? So when you say, how do I, the questions pop up. How do I make more money out of this market? How do I actually ensure that my load factor improves? So how do I is the third concept of analytics, which allows you to actually ask the question, get an answer. Then we have optimizers. And of course, one of the biggest area that we are working on is aligned with the customer. So we have this model where we have taken the ATPCO data and aligned it to customer segmentation. I think this is one of the difficult tasks to do, to align a customer segment with ATPCO data and the profile of the customer. So this has been one of the most challenging ones, but we managed to do that. Next thing, most sales teams coordinate with their global sales force. So we created a chat bot whereby the sales guys can come in and ask for pricing requests. If it sets in the business rules, this chat bot will automatically file the fare.